Breaking news now at 4, record heat on the way for the DMV. Meteorologist Damon Matson is with us with how hot it will get.
The Potomac River is back in the spotlight, earning the title as the most endangered river in the country. How advocates are responding.
Plus, tax day is tomorrow, and if you haven't filed yet, the clock is ticking. What last-minute filers need to know to avoid penalties.
And as we celebrate the spirit of America, millions visiting the monuments and memorials that help shape our nation's history. But behind every carved word is a centuries-old craft, one family's legacy now etched into some of the country's most iconic landmarks.
Because my grandfather and my father established such a great presence in Washington, D.C., it wasn't much of a reach for me to then be the next person who's involved with any given large civic memorial.
We'll take you inside the art of preserving America's history in stone.
Breaking now at 4, police are investigating a shooting on Kenilworth Avenue, Northeast Washington. Right now, details are limited. We do have a crew on the way to the scene, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on air and online on DCNewsNow.com.
And taking a live look outside at the Washington Monument and I-495 Bradley Boulevard and 495 North I-270 as temps reach near record highs for today. And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And good afternoon. I'm Elisa Gale, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the slight warm up. Just got to stay cool, dress warm, just cooler for the warmer temperatures. Yeah.
And let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson with a first look at our forecast. Damon, I don't know if we're going to reach record numbers, but it's still a warm day in the region for sure.
Easily. And yeah, as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, those temperatures we're going to experience the next couple of days will certainly reach that record mark. But here today, hey, regardless if we hit any records, this is a good amount of heat for mid-April. Folks, we have widespread 80s across the region, and we do have one location that has hit the 90-degree mark so far today. Waldorf has spiked up to 90 degrees. Now, in terms of records, I think we do continue to fall just short. Again, 85 DC, 85 Hagerstown, 86 in Martinsburg. Those numbers not quite enough to test some of these records across the DMV, and DC's old record set back in 1960, 91. We're likely not to get there, but Dulles was at 88 degrees, so we may see at least one record set out in Northern Virginia, but we're not going to see a widespread record-setting day here. But hey, folks, either way, this heat is going to hang on. We're going to continue to keep things fairly dry. However, we are watching a couple of storms in all of this heat drift down toward us from Pennsylvania. Could some of us end up with a little bit of rainfall, and that'll cool down these temperatures as we head into the night. And just how hot are we about to get on Wednesday and Thursday when we could set some records? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, happening now, the Potomac named the most endangered river in America, and that's according to a new report by advocacy organization American Rivers, which aims to protect rivers and streams across the country.
Yeah, the designation comes 3 months after an historic sewage spill in the Potomac. DC News Now's Marielle Carbone joining us live in Georgetown with more on this. And Marielle, the spill definitely playing a role in this, according to some.
Yeah, Annalisa, we know when the Potomac Interceptor collapsed, it dumped 240 million gallons of raw sewage into the Potomac River. Now, repairs have been made, but groups will continue studying the impacts. Another big component here, data centers. Now, according to the report, the concentration of data centers along the river is putting the river and drinking water at risk. For one, these data centers store large amounts of diesel fuel on site, which increases the risk of contamination. They also pull river water to cool the sites. That water, it is warm when it goes back into the river, which can impact life in the river and the overall quality. Now, advocates in the area say the report should be used as a call to action to plan ahead on how aging infrastructure, as well as those data centers, could harm the drinking water supply here.
Wake-up call, right? That's really what this is, and what we're hoping we get from it is a recognition that we need to account for these risks in our planning. We need to think in advance about not just best case scenario, but what could happen, and make sure that on the front end we're mitigating all of those risks.
Now, not mentioned in this report, but another recent spill. The Maryland Department of the Environment is investigating a 32,000-gallon jet fuel spill at Joint Base Andrews. That was between January and March. And they say that that water or that jet fuel did get into the Piscataway Creek, which leads into the Potomac. So another major contamination. We'll get more for you on that and the report on our website. That is dcnewsnow.com. For now, live in Georgetown, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you. And police say a man was shot and killed in Southeast D.C. This happened at around 2 a.m. this morning off of Brandywine Street. The victim died at the scene. Police have not released any details about the victim. A search is underway for suspects. Also in Virginia, a 9-year-old boy is dead after being hit by a car. Investigators say that boy was found in the road after leaving his home. This happened at about 10 p.m. last night near Centerville Road in Manassas. The driver has been identified as 30-year-old Jacinto Morales. He has been charged with driving without a license. Police are now asking anyone who may have witnessed a crash to reach out.
Well, right now, a D.C. jury is in its 4th day of deliberations in the murder trial for a teacher shot and killed on Catholic University campus. Maxwell Emerson was a teacher visiting D.C. to attend a conference in July of 2023 when he was shot and killed during a struggle on the school's Northeast D.C. campus. Now, Jamie Macedo is facing murder charges in Emerson's death. Prosecutors allege that Emerson was approached near the Brookland Metro, and that the defendant forced him to a nearby park. And they say that Emerson sent Snapchat messages telling his family that he was being robbed at gunpoint. Prosecutors say that Macedo tried to grab something from Emerson during the struggle. Emerson was shot. He later died. The defense maintaining that Macedo's innocence, and Emerson's mother told DC News Now in 2023 that he did not know the shooter, saying that this was a murder of an innocent beloved teacher visiting D.C. to attend a conference at the Library of Congress. It's not clear if jurors will go into a 5th day of deliberation in the case.
Meantime, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger has proposed multiple changes to bills passed by the legislature. Her suggestions involve bills on sick leave, recreational marijuana, and public sector bargaining. Governor Spanberger's signings and vetoes getting some criticism now from both sides of the aisle.
It's very difficult to consider massive amendments like were made to the collective bargaining bill or, in fact, hundreds of others, or I should say dozens of other bills.
There were some really bad bills that passed the legislature. Some of them should have been vetoed. At the least, some of them should be rewritten.
Yeah, the Democrat-controlled General Assembly will consider Governor Spanberger's changes when it reconvenes next week.
Well, we continue to follow the war in the Middle East. Diplomats are working to restart the U.S.-Iran talks as tensions in the Middle East remain high. President Trump says that a second round of negotiations could happen within 2 days and possibly in Pakistan after last weekend's talks failed to reach an agreement. Meanwhile, the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports is now in effect with tankers turned away from the Strait of Hormuz. As Tehran warns that it could retaliate against targets across the region, U.S. Central Command says that no ships made it past the blockade in the first 24 hours. Ahead at 4:30. DC News Now's Rashad Hudson breaks down more on the war and the return of Congress as they have several high-priority pieces of legislation on the table. And you can find the latest updates on the war with Iran on our website at dcnewsnow.com. Just search Iran.
All right, taking a live look now at Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are set to vote tonight on the ALERT Act. It's a bill aimed at preventing another deadly mid-air crash like last year's collision near Reagan National that killed 67 people. The measure would require aircrafts near busy airports to use advanced tracking systems, which the NTSB says could have prevented that crash. But victims' families and some senators say the bill still needs stronger deadlines and fewer exemptions for military flights. That vote is expected sometime around 6:30 tonight.
Well, Mayor Bowser investing more than $2 million to expand summer program for D.C. kids. The funding will support 30 nonprofits and help serve more than 1,300 young people across the district. Officials say that the goal is to boost access to safe, structured activities, especially in wards 5 through 8 while school is out. Just ahead on our website at dcnewsnow.com to learn how you can register your child for the program.